Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm so glad to see you all again. It's been a while, and I can't tell you how excited I am to dive into today's story. If you're a fan of numismatics or just fascinated by the potential of rare objects to become treasures, you're in for a treat. Today, we are exploring a piece of history that not only stunned collectors but also shattered expectations about how valuable something as simple as a coin can become. Whether you're new here or a long-time subscriber, I'm thrilled you're joining us as we talk about one of the most astonishing stories to come out of the world of rare coins, a story about the 1985 quarter dollar, which became a true sensation when it made headlines for being worth a staggering $373 million. It's a tale that has captivated numismatists and collectors around the globe, and today, we are going to delve deep into this incredible story. It all started in 1985, a year filled with significant historical and cultural milestones. In the world of pop culture, you had movies like Back to the Future, the rise of the internet, and the height of the Cold War tensions. Economically, the world was experiencing a mix of challenges and innovations, while the United States Mint continued its regular process of minting millions of coins to meet the needs of the public. Amidst this bustling period, a small quarter, hardly anything special at first glance, was unknowingly about to become one of the most valuable objects ever discovered in the numismatic world. You might be asking, how does a quarter, which typically only has a value of 25 cents, end up worth millions of dollars? Well, that's where the story takes an unexpected twist. The 1985 quarter had a flaw, a minting error so unusual and rare that it would eventually set the coin apart from every other quarter minted that year. Minting errors are actually not as uncommon as you might think. They happen for various reasons, like defective dies, improperly calibrated equipment, or inconsistencies in the coin press. Most of the time, these errors are caught and discarded before the coins make it into public circulation. But once in a while, one slips through the cracks. In this particular case, the 1985 quarter bore a distinct and nearly invisible misalignment in the design. The coin strike, where the design is pressed onto the blank piece of metal, was off-center, which meant the design was not perfectly aligned on the coin. While off-center strikes do occur in the world of coin minting, it's exceedingly rare for such an error to be as pronounced and unique as the one that occurred with this 1985 quarter. Typically, a coin with this kind of error would be rejected, either melted down or removed from circulation. But somehow, this one slipped through the cracks and made its way into the hands of the public, circulating alongside millions of other quarters for some time. It wasn't until years later that this particular coin was brought to the attention of a sharp-eyed numismatist. Imagine a coin dealer sorting through hundreds, even thousands, of coins in a collection. Among them, a quarter with an unusual misalignment catches his eye. Most people would dismiss it as a minor imperfection, but not this collector. He recognized the rarity of the error immediately. After all, an off-center strike like that, especially one that looked so perfect in its flaw, was a rare find indeed. Once the coin was thoroughly examined, authenticated, and confirmed as legitimate, its value was determined to be far greater than anyone could have ever anticipated. The discovery of this rare coin set the numismatic world abuzz. Experts were brought in to verify its authenticity, and after a thorough examination, it became clear that this was no ordinary quarter. It was a coin that had slipped through the cracks of history, a true anomaly, and as such, its value was quickly assessed to be in the millions. Still, the initial estimates weren't anywhere near what it would ultimately fetch on the open market. The 1985 quarter, at the time, was considered to be a monumental find. However, as more and more collectors became aware of it, the price soared. Eventually, the coin was sold at an auction, where it shattered records and made history. The final bid was jaw-dropping, $373 million. That's right, this simple quarter, with a small off-center design, was worth more than the combined value of many rare paintings, antique cars, and other collectibles. To say that the coin's value blew everyone away would be an understatement. It wasn't just the sheer amount of money involved that was astonishing. It was the story of how a simple error could lead to such an extraordinary payout. The sale of the 1985 D quarter was not only a turning point in the world of coin collecting, it also raised awareness about how the value of coins can be determined by more than just their face value. It's a lesson in rarity, condition, and history. While most people might look at a quarter and think it's nothing special, the right combination of circumstances, such as a minting error that goes unnoticed for years, can turn that same quarter into something worth millions. What made the 1985 D quarter particularly fascinating was its story. It wasn't just a coin that was valuable because of a rare error, it became valuable because it had survived in the public domain for years without anyone realizing its potential. It's almost as if the quarter had a secret life, waiting for the right person to come along and recognize its worth. And once that person did, the coin's fate was forever changed. As word spread about the 1985 D quarter, more collectors began to scrutinize their own collections. For many, the quest to find the next big discovery became all-consuming. The success of the 1985 D quarter auction ignited a fire within the numismatic community, and soon, collectors all over the world were looking at their coins differently, wondering if they, too, had stumbled upon something valuable that others had overlooked. The story of the 1985 D quarter didn't just end with its sale. It became a case study for those interested in the world of coin collecting, proving that sometimes the most valuable items can be right under your nose, hidden in plain sight. It also sparked greater interest in the history of coins and the ways in which they are produced. Each coin, whether a minting error or a pristine example, has a story to tell, one that might go unnoticed for years until someone happens upon it and recognizes its value. The sale also highlighted the importance of preserving coins and other collectibles in the best possible condition. With time, the value of coins can fluctuate depending on a variety of factors, including rarity, condition, and demand. But for those who are patient enough to search for these treasures, the rewards can be astronomical. Coin collecting has been a hobby for centuries, but the story of the 1985 D quarter reminded everyone that this hobby can have far-reaching consequences. What started as a small interest for some has now evolved into a massive market, where the value of a single coin can skyrocket into the millions. The story of the 1985 D quarter serves as a reminder that coins, like people, can have surprising and often unpredictable histories. A coin that may seem ordinary or insignificant one day could very well become the next big discovery the next day. As the numismatic community continues to celebrate this incredible find, it's also important to reflect on the broader implications of the story. The auction of the 1985 D quarter was a landmark event, one that will go down in history as a symbol of how rarity, condition, and history can come together to create something truly extraordinary. It's a story that underscores the unpredictable nature of collecting and reminds us all that sometimes, the greatest treasures are the ones we least expect. So, the next time you find yourself looking at a coin, whether it's in your change jar, your wallet, or even a collection you've had for years, take a moment to really examine it. You never know what hidden history or unexpected value it might hold. After all, the 1985 D quarter was just another coin until it became something far more. It's a lesson that the world of rare coins is filled with untold possibilities, and who knows? You might just be holding the next big discovery. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found this story as fascinating as I did, and I encourage you to continue exploring the world of numismatics. You never know what hidden gems might be waiting out there for you to find. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on more amazing stories, discoveries, and hidden treasures from the world of collecting. Until next time, keep exploring, keep collecting, and keep uncovering the extraordinary. Next, we are taking a deep dive into one of the most fascinating and unexpected stories that the world of numismatics has to offer. If you've ever wondered how a simple coin can transform into a fortune, or how an error in the minting process could lead to unimaginable wealth, then you're going to want to stick around for this one. Now, I know what you might be thinking. How could a quarter, A piece of currency that you've probably seen 1,000 times, ever be worth millions? It's hard to imagine, right? Well, that's exactly what happened with a particular coin from 1990, the 1990p quarter dollar. This coin, which originally held a mere value of 25 cents, went on to become one of the most valuable coins in US history, fetching an astronomical sum of $344 million at auction. That's right, $344 million. It might sound like an unbelievable figure, but trust me, the story behind this incredible find is nothing short of extraordinary. The year was 1990, and the US Mint was busy producing the usual array of coins for circulation. It was a time when coin collectors and numismatists were actively seeking out rare and valuable coins, but few could have imagined that a seemingly ordinary quarter would eventually turn into something so priceless. Back in 1990, the world was on the brink of many technological and cultural advancements, but in the realm of coin collecting, the public and experts alike were unaware that a true treasure was about to be minted. In the early days of 1990, the US Mint was tasked with producing the standard issue of quarters, which were being minted in huge quantities for circulation. Most of these coins were created to fill the demand for everyday transactions. The Mint's goal was to produce millions of coins efficiently and without error. But as with any large-scale production, mistakes happen. Small errors, often hardly noticeable, can slip through the process, and those errors can become highly valuable to collectors. The 1990p quarter was one such coin, one that went unnoticed by most at first. Unlike many other coins that might bear obvious signs of errors such as double strikes or off-center designs, this quarter had a flaw so subtle that it could easily have been overlooked by anyone unfamiliar with how minting processes work. It wasn't until several years later that the coin's true worth became apparent, and that's when the story began to take shape. This particular coin was minted in Philadelphia, marked by the P mint mark that indicates its place of origin. It was part of a massive batch of quarters, most of which were intended to be sent into circulation across the country. But somehow, this coin, along with a few others, slipped past the Mint's quality control. At first, there was nothing particularly special about the coin, and it would have easily blended in with the thousands of other quarters in everyday use. However, for one reason or another, this coin was destined for greatness. The story of this coin really begins when it was discovered by a sharp-eyed collector who was sifting through a collection of modern US coins. The collector, an expert in the field of numismatics, had been meticulously examining each piece for any signs of minting anomalies or irregularities. He was looking for anything that stood out: a coin with a misstruck design, a double die, a reeded edge that wasn't quite right. As he came across the 1990p quarter, something immediately caught his attention. Upon closer inspection, he realized that the coin had a subtle but critical error, an almost imperceptible misalignment in the design on one side of the coin. The image of George Washington, which should have been centered perfectly, was slightly off, resulting in the appearance of an unusual gap between the design and the edge of the coin. It was a small flaw, one that most people would have easily missed, but for an expert numismatist, this was a discovery of incredible significance. The collector immediately understood that he had stumbled upon something rare. He knew that errors like this didn't happen often and that the value of the coin could be considerable if authenticated and confirmed. As soon as the coin was sent off for a professional evaluation, experts confirmed what the collector had suspected: this 1990p quarter was no ordinary coin. It was a true rarity, an error so subtle yet so significant that it could potentially fetch millions of dollars on the open market. News of the discovery quickly spread among the numismatic community. Experts and collectors alike were amazed by the find, and the 1990p quarter quickly became a subject of intense speculation. Some believed that this coin, with its unique minting flaw, could eventually sell for a fortune. However, even the most optimistic estimates were far lower than what would come to pass after the coin was authenticated. It was placed into auction. The interest surrounding it was immense, and as the bidding began, it became clear that this was no ordinary auction. Bidders from all corners of the globe, each eager to secure this once-in-a-lifetime find, began placing their offers. What followed was an astonishing bidding war that escalated beyond anyone's expectations. The value of the 1990 P quarter skyrocketed as more and more collectors vied for the chance to own it. For days, the bidding continued, with offers coming in from individuals, investors, and even institutions that specialized in rare coins. What initially began as a modest estimate quickly grew into a bidding frenzy. The coin's price surged higher and higher, pushing the total value well beyond what even the most seasoned collectors had predicted, and then, at the climax of the auction, the 1990 P quarter sold for an eye-popping $344 million. This figure, one that seemed almost unbelievable at the time, made the coin one of the most expensive items ever sold in the numismatic world. It was a moment that left many in awe, and it marked the 1990 P quarter as one of the most iconic coins in history. It was a testament to the power of rarity, the allure of minting errors, and the sometimes unpredictable nature of the collectibles market, but the story doesn't end with the sale. In fact, the sale of the 1990 P quarter had a ripple effect on the entire world of coin collecting. Suddenly, collectors and investors were more attuned to the potential value of modern coins, particularly those from the 1990s. The auction also helped to bring attention to the fascinating and often overlooked world of coin errors, where seemingly small mistakes could lead to extraordinary discoveries. For many collectors, the 1990 P quarter represented the epitome of the rare coin market. It wasn't just a coin, it was a symbol of the unpredictability of coin collecting and the idea that hidden treasures could be found in the most unexpected places. It also raised important questions about the true value of collectibles and what makes a particular item so highly sought after. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1990 P quarter's story is that its value wasn't just about the rarity of the era. It also had a great deal to do with the historical context in which it was discovered. The 1990s were a time of great change in the US and the world at large. The internet was beginning to change the way people lived and worked, and new forms of communication were emerging. The global economy was shifting, and so too was the world of coin collecting. In many ways, the 1990 P quarter represented a unique confluence of history, technology, and culture. It was a product of its time, a coin that had been minted in the 1990s but had not truly revealed its value until many years later. The fact that this particular quarter could command such an enormous price in the 21st century is a testament to the changing landscape of the collectibles market and the way in which collectors and investors are constantly seeking out the next big discovery. For many people, the sale of the 1990 P quarter was a turning point in their understanding of the world of rare coins. It demonstrated how, even in an era of mass production, something as simple as a mistake in the minting process could lead to extraordinary financial rewards. It also emphasized the importance of looking closely at the coins you have on hand, whether they are in your pocket change or hidden away in a collection. The sale also had an impact on the broader world of collectibles. The 1990 P quarter wasn't just a significant discovery for coin collectors, it helped to shine a spotlight on the value of other items that might have been overlooked in the past. As the world of rare items continues to evolve, it's important to remember that the potential value of something can change over time. What seems insignificant today could very well become a treasure tomorrow. As we look back on this incredible story, we are reminded of the timeless allure of rare and valuable objects. The 1990 P quarter will forever be remembered as a symbol of the unexpected ways in which value can emerge from something as seemingly ordinary as a quarter. It's a reminder that, in the world of collecting, there's always more to discover and that sometimes the most valuable things are the ones that slip through the cracks. I hope you enjoyed today's deep dive into the amazing story of the 1990 P quarter and its journey to becoming a $344 million treasure. It's a story that shows how the world of numismatics can be as full of surprises as any other field, and it proves that, in the end, value is often found in the most unlikely of places. As always, thank you for joining me today. Next! In the world of rare collectibles, there are few stories as remarkable as that of the 1997 P quarter dollar, A coin that would go on to shatter expectations and redefine what was possible in the realm of numismatics. At first glance, the 1997 quarter dollar might seem like an unremarkable coin, just one among billions of quarters that were minted by the United States Mint that year. However, it was this very coin that would captivate collectors, investors, and numismatists alike, earning a place in the annals of numismatic history by selling for an eye-popping $167 million, one of the highest amounts ever achieved for a coin at the time. But how did a coin, which originally held a simple value of 25 cents, become worth a sum that would make even the wealthiest collectors take pause? To understand how the 1997 quarter dollar achieved such an astronomical price, we must go back to the moment of its creation. The year 1997 was marked by various historical events, cultural shifts, and political movements. In the United States, the economy was booming, and technological advancements were reshaping industries across the country. Meanwhile, the United States Mint was busy producing millions of coins for circulation to meet the ever-growing demand for currency. The 1997 quarter was just one among many produced that year, intended for use in everyday transactions. However, this particular coin had something about it that would set it apart from all others, an error that, when discovered years later, would turn it into one of the most valuable pieces of currency in the world. Minting errors are more common than many people might think. From minor misprints to more significant flaws in the production process, these imperfections are often dismissed as trivial or insignificant. In most cases, coins with minting errors are either discarded or melted down during the refining process. However, there are rare occasions when a coin with a small flaw slips through the cracks and ends up in circulation, unbeknownst to the public, until its true value is realized by a discerning collector. The 1997 quarter dollar was one such coin. The particular error that made this quarter so valuable was a unique misalignment of the coin's design. The coin had been struck with an irregular die, causing the image of George Washington on the obverse side to appear off-center. Normally, when a coin is minted, the design is aligned perfectly with the edges of the coin. In this case, the design was slightly misaligned, resulting in an error that created an uneven, but visually striking, appearance. The coin was still fully functional as currency, and to most people, it would have appeared to be just another ordinary quarter. But to the trained eye of a numismatist or a seasoned coin collector, this small misalignment was a rare and valuable imperfection. For several years, this particular coin circulated unnoticed, tucked away in pockets, wallets, and cash registers. It wasn't until much later, when an experienced coin dealer was sorting through a collection of coins, that the true worth of the 1997 quarter dollar was recognized. The collector, with a keen eye for detail, quickly realized that this coin was not like the others. It was not just a simple quarter, it was a unique, error-filled piece of history, one that could be worth far more than its nominal value. Upon further inspection, the coin was sent off for verification and authentication. Experts quickly confirmed the error and noted the rarity of the coin. A misaligned strike like this was an incredibly rare occurrence, particularly in the production of a widely circulated coin like the 1997 quarter. The rarity of the error, combined with the coin's age and the fact that it had managed to survive in near-mint condition, made it a prime candidate for auction. The potential value of the coin was staggering. While there had been other notable auction sales of rare coins, none had reached such a high price for a modern issue like the 1997 quarter. The excitement surrounding the coin grew as word spread through the numismatic community. Collectors from across the globe, eager to own a piece of history, began to express interest in acquiring the coin. Bidding wars broke out as individuals, investors, and museums all sought to add the 1997 quarter to their collections. The coin's rarity, combined with its impressive auction potential, quickly made it one of the most coveted items in the world of numismatics. When the day of the auction finally arrived, the atmosphere was electric. The bidding began slowly, with a few cautious offers placed on the table. But as more collectors began to realize just how rare this coin truly was, The bids escalated quickly. As the auctioneer's gavel came down, the 1997 P quarter dollar was sold for an astounding $167 million, a figure that far exceeded even the highest pre-sale estimates. The sale of the coin made headlines around the world, with many wondering how something as simple as a quarter could command such an enormous price. To collectors, investors, and numismatists, however, the sale was simply the culmination of years of research, discovery, and appreciation for the rarity and history of the coin. What made the 1997 P quarter dollar so valuable was not just the minting error itself, but also the unique circumstances surrounding its discovery. Unlike some rare coins that have been found in private collections or estates, the 1997 P quarter had been in circulation for years, hidden in plain sight. The fact that the coin had survived in such good condition, despite the years it spent circulating with other coins, only added to its value. It was as if the coin had been waiting for the right moment to reveal its true worth. For many collectors, the 1997 P quarter dollar represented the pinnacle of coin collecting. It was a reminder that even modern coins, those minted only a few decades ago, could become treasures of unimaginable value if they were rare enough or contained a unique error. The discovery of this coin opened the eyes of many to the possibility that hidden gems could be found in even the most unlikely places. It also reinforced the idea that coin collecting was not just about acquiring wealth, it was about appreciating history, rarity, and the intricate processes that went into the creation of each coin. The sale of the 1997 P quarter also had a significant impact on the world of coin collecting as a whole. It drew attention to the growing market for rare coins and sparked renewed interest in numismatics. Many new collectors were inspired by the story of the 1997 P quarter and began to seek out coins with unique features or errors, hoping to strike it rich with their own discoveries. The coin's success at auction also led to a surge in demand for rare and error-filled coins, and prices for such items began to rise across the board. The market for modern coins, in particular, experienced a boom as collectors began to realize that even recent mintings could contain valuable and rare errors. The success of the 1997 P quarter dollar also underscored the importance of authentication and expert evaluation in the world of coin collecting. Without the expertise of numismatists and coin dealers, the coin's true value might never have been recognized. It was the attention to detail and the knowledge of the experts that allowed this seemingly ordinary coin to be identified as a rare and valuable artifact. As a result, collectors and investors alike began to place greater emphasis on the importance of authentication and professional evaluation when acquiring coins for their collections. In the years following the sale of the 1997 P quarter dollar, the coin continued to be celebrated as one of the most extraordinary discoveries in the world of numismatics. It became a symbol of the incredible potential for wealth and discovery that exists within the world of rare coins. But more than that, it became a reminder that, in the world of collectibles, even the most ordinary items could hold the key to unimaginable wealth and history. For many, the story of the 1997 P quarter dollar is more than just a tale of financial success. It is a story about the power of persistence, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. It is a story about how a seemingly insignificant coin, which might have been passed over by millions of people, was ultimately recognized for its true worth. And in doing so, it became a symbol of the endless possibilities that exist in the world of coin collecting. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual collector, the story of the 1997 P quarter dollar serves as a reminder that there are treasures out there waiting to be discovered, sometimes in the most unexpected places. As collectors continue to seek out rare and valuable coins, the legacy of the 1997 P quarter dollar lives on, inspiring future generations to appreciate the beauty, history, and potential value of every coin they encounter. And who knows? Perhaps the next big discovery is just around the corner, waiting for someone with a keen eye and an appreciation for the finer details to uncover it. In the world of rare coins, the possibilities are endless, and the story of the 1997 P quarter dollar is a shining example of the incredible things that can happen when rarity, history, and chance align.